Hello everyone, I'm going to spend a couple minutes going over my PvP build. Currently I only play in the CP enabled campaign. I haven't tested this particular build out in Battlegrounds, but I assume it would perform just as well. So with that said, we're going to go right into it. I am running 5-piece Wizard's Riposte. I use the jewelry, and I'm running 5-piece Amberplasm. I have found getting the jewelry to be very difficult, so that's why I run the Wizard's Rings. And I run 1-piece Max Magicka monster set in pen. Perfect world, this would not be Divines, but I'm going to take what I can get and not complain about it. And I, again, chose to run the staves. They probably run me just under 400,000 gold for the both of them. I'm not sure if prices have come down, but that's not a... it's a lot better of an option than farming the ruins for the appropriate Amberplasm staves. So an alternative, if you cannot afford to purchase all this gear, the alternative is to run Seducers, which I have run prior to this, and it worked just as well. I just prefer Amberplasm because it gives me a little more stamina recovery to fuel my dark conversion. Okay, so on my bars, this is my Destro bar, just your typical Sorc spells. I threw Inner Light on here. Sometimes I change this out for Degeneration, and it frees up a spot on my back bar to run something else. Sometimes I run Mines, but they're very expensive, and I'm pretty mobile when I PvP, and I don't really stay in one spot, so I found this setup here to be a little more effective for me. I run Dawnbreaker. Sometimes I'll put Meteor in there. It just kind of depends on my mood. Back bar, I run with 1 shield, and as you can see in the gameplay video, the 1 shield is enough to get me through the fights that I'm showing you. Dark conversion, which helps fuel my Magicka recovery, and it's a nice little heal. I was using ball lightning, which is fine, but I switched to streak recently just to get that extra damage, because when you run the sets that I'm running, you'll see that your raw damage is a little lower. I only have 2200 unbuffed spell damage, so the streak definitely helps me get some breathing room and stunning the enemy, and it helps me get a little more damage in. And then of course Healing Ward, Light's Champion, which is still hands down probably one of the best ultimates for a sorcerer to run in my opinion. I have all the appropriate passives. As far as enchants go, I have damage enchants on all my jewelry, and I run a damage, health, poison on my back bar just in case I get into some tankier targets. You'll see I like to heavy attack to get some resources back and to increase their stamina magicka costs. And weapon and spell damage enchant on the front. Bring up my CP real quick. There's nothing really fancy in here. I know there's a lot of debate going on about Bastion, but because I only run the 1 shield, I feel a lot more comfortable with a 10k shield. Right now in Cyrodiil, I think it's about 10.5, somewhere in that ballpark, so I'm good with 61 points here. I have minimal into these two. I don't feel like there's a lot of benefit out of those anymore. Most of them are going to be an ironclad with a few more into resistant. There's nothing here. I split out about 57 into here, 30 into here. I put a lot more into Mastered Arms. As you can see, 66 points gives me a 22% damage increase. 57 only gives me 12 here, so it makes a lot more sense to dump into here. This is kind of up to you, but I add the points here because I run into a lot of Sorcs now, and I like that extra damage boost. This boosts my light and heavy attacks, so put some points in there. As far as the green tree goes, I put a bunch between Warlord and Arcanist and Mooncap to get my stamina recovery up there. So that's the layout. I use Tri-Stat Food, increase all primary stats. As you can see, I have a lot of stamina. It gives me, I'm getting a little older. I'm not as fast as I used to be when I was younger playing games. So I like having that padded stamina. It gives me more room to dodge roll and break free a couple times. And then you can see that I have almost 1200 stamina recovery. Yeah, this might be a little much for some people. You could probably run blue food, bring this down to about 10k, get a little more health and magicka, but like I said, I like the bigger stamina pool. It's helped me a ton. I got about 2k Magicka Regen. In Cyrodiil, I run about 22.5k health, somewhere in that ballpark. Of course, Vampire. I'm currently running Atronach. Be honest with you, I could probably bring this down to the 1700 range and run Thief instead, which is a really substantial increase to your crit chance, because it does run low on spell damage. That increased crit chance is going to give you a little bit of a DPS boost. You can see on my Destro bar currently I'm about 45 spell crit, so because I'm not running Thief, I make the choice to run Inner Light for that extra crit and for the 5% increased Magicka. And kind of just play around with it, see what you're comfortable with. And that's pretty much it for the stats. Gameplay video coming up next. Feel free to contact me here or on the forums for any questions. And look forward to putting up some more build videos.